Welcome guys to the second part of how to FM18. Now you've sorted out your database, you've made your manager profile, you've allotted your manager points, and now you're in the game. And now, especially when you're a first time player, there are a lot of buttons right away available to you. And the tutorial that Football Manager offers is not really that good. So what are the essential things that you absolutely need to do when you start a new save? The first thing that will pop up is the email, like welcome to your club. You can just run it through it yourself. It's not really something interesting. Just read the answers and nothing really can go wrong in that. When you've done that, you want to head straight to the squad screen and you'll be presented with this. Now, if those ability and potential nods aren't there, just right click around here, then insert column, go to scouting, and then there'll be ability and potential right here. It doesn't say it's there for me because I already have it in the graph here. When you've done that, you have a clear idea on who the best players in your side are. Now, a good thing when getting an idea of your squad is seeing where the best players of your side, what the position of those players is. Like Gelson Martins is a young player. I believe he's 21 or 22. I apologize for the loading time. It's just something that's in the beta right now. He is 22 years old. He is a pretty good player and he is a winger. So if you're not planning on using winger, like here's another winger as well, Marcos Acuna. I can't say I've heard of him, but let's just quickly look. He's only 25 as well. He's pretty good as well. So when you start with Sporting, the first thing that I noticed now is that you probably want to play with wingers. Your best player is a defensive midfielder, so you probably want to play him in his natural position as well. Now, when you get a decent idea of where the best players in your side, where their natural positions are at, then go to the tactics screen. Your assistant will offer to make the tactic for you. You just press the button. Don't pay attention because now this is a 4-2-3-1, but you can play anything that you want, even without wingers. Even if you're playing as Sporting, just you can like mold the team into the team that you want it to be. Now the positions are right here. This is default to be role ability. Again, when you just press with the right mouse button and press replace this column with scouting ability, you will just have the star rating just like on the squad screen. Role ability is the ability of the player to play the position and the role that you've appointed him to. And like now my tactics are empty, so none of these players will show stars here, so that can be kind of confusing for a new player. I suggest just filling out the team in everybody's natural position if you're not much of a tactics guy. So Carvalho can go straight there. This is his natural position for Carvalho. Patricio in goal. Coates is a defender. Gelson Martins on the left or on the right. I believe he's left-footed, but I'm probably talking shit. Yeah, he's right-footed. Of course, when I say he's left, it's right, of course. So he can go in there and just fill out the squad like that. Bas Dost in the spits. Just like that. And when you've done like that, and now I already noticed that I'm missing a really good fullback. Jeremy Macho is another central defender. The best fullback in my squad is all the way down here, it's Fabio Contrao. So you notice straight away that on the fullback position you might want to improve your side. Now if you go to the right here, when you've made your starting 11 and you've made your bench, you can just make the bench by, let's just fill this in. Those are not the natural positions, but just for this example's sake, if you right mouse click right here, when the starting 11 is full, it will send the player to your bench like that. S1 means sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4, just like that. And if you right click again, it will remove it from that position. Then you want to check down here your mentality. Just read through these little bits and just figure out the thing how you want to play. I didn't mean to press on that. The team shape is again not really that influential, I found, but you might want to read through it and just make a decision. Then on this screen, if you hold the mouse over something for a bit, then a message like this will pop up. Just read through the stuff and figure out what you want. Now, if you're playing wingers, then a natural thing for you to do is you might want to clear the ball from your defense to the flanks right away, or you want to play it out to the out of the defense and exploit the flanks. You also, when you're playing wings, might want to look to exploit the middle and then look for the overlap, like your fullbacks or your wingers can like stick to the sidelines and you can get the width from there. Just read through this stuff. You don't need to be an expert. You also don't need to click everything, like you don't need to click all these things or make a decision. If you leave things empty, especially if you're doing a bit of a worse side, like a League 2 side or a Spanish third tier side, you might not want to overload the team with instructions right away. Just figure it out as you go, and if you notice something in a match, just change it. Don't be afraid to change your tactic or even your formation, just do it. It's most of the time, if you're not performing, it is down to your tactic or the player roles that you've appointed. Like you can click here, you'll see he's a defensive midfielder. There's plenty of options right here. Just read through them and you'll be absolutely fine. Also, don't be discouraged when things in the start might not go your way. You might want to stick to your tactic. You can change everything. You can just do whatever you want, and that your team is not performing right away does not mean that you have a bad tactic or a bad side. So just keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged too soon. When you figure all this out, you will notice that a lot, especially here, a lot of these players are either blued in their name or just completely redundant for your tactic. Now, the blue players are players that are out on loan. You can see Francisco Giraldes is currently at Rio Ave, if I'm pronouncing that right. You can click here, show fail as, and remove the players that are not at the club, and that will give you a bit, like it will remove all the players that are out on loan, so that's a bit more organized for you. Well, there's a lot of players in this sport inside, so when you've decided your starting 11 and your subs, you also might want to look at what players are redundant, and you might want to look to sell them when an offer comes in. Next thing that I tend to do is go to the staff screen. This graph here shows how good your scouting team is in comparison to the rest of your league. So not to the world, just to your league. And what you want to do is like see the weak spots. For instance, the medical team is quite short on men, like only 2 people in the medical staff, while you can have a lot more. And it's not the greatest, like 15th in the Portuguese Premier League and 13th. So what you want to do then is hire another physio probably. You go to staff search, edit search, attributes, physiotherapy, because that's the main stat for physio, of course. Then you want to staff role, medical, physio, and a lot of names will pop up back here, and you can hide in this number if you want. Like there's enough people that are 20 rated, and you can see right away there's 3 physios currently without a club that you can just sign if you want. Like Dario Ford, an Italian, 20 physiotherapy, who will like shoot your rating right through the ceiling on that one. So just look through your stuff, like tactical coaching not the best, defensive is actually second. That's weird because the show's kind of low here. But like just look through these, which are the worst, and just click them. Like clear the search again, attributes, and click the things that you want in a coach. Like we want tactical and technical and attacking. If you, let's say those are your weak spots, you might want to put it a bit lower. There's a few names so you can hide it. Now there's a lot less names. Now there are only 3. Those are all managers, so that's not any good to you. So press the staff role. You must find a coach then. They can actually be coaches. Yeah, he can be a coach if you want. He's a really good coach actually. But yeah, that's the way you want to click through those, and then just go to contract, approach the sign, see what they want, offer them, and if they accept your contract offer, them like 99% of the time they will actually join your site in like 3 days. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. So it's really easy to like max out all these things like before the second season starts. It's pretty easy in Football Manager. Then for the training part, it's a bit finicky because I'm not really into training. I just tend to leave it on balanced and average for entire seasons. But when the season just starts, You can choose either team cohesion, if you're planning on bringing a lot of new names in, or on fitness. And like we have 2.5 weeks or maybe even 3 weeks of not playing a match. So you might want to get that to high or very high even. Just note that if you increase the intensities, also the risk of injuries will increase. If you want to play friendly in between here, you can go to schedule, and in the right hand corner here it says arrange friendly. Just press the date that you'd like to play friendly on, go to here, choose, and you'll have some option of teams that you could choose, and most of the times something good will be here. Like in preseason, you probably want to start with a bit of a worse side, so you can go to very small reputation, like Regua here. This date, the 6th of July, confirm, and you will get a mail like they've accepted or they've not accepted. Next thing to do is scouting. Now, especially when you're like a top tier side, the default I found for the, let's just find it because everything is new. Where are the scouting packages? Where are they? Ah, come on, not now. Not now. Alright, sorry, and players. Senior packages. You can see here the standard packages for sporting is scouting and Central Europe, and youth packages are only Portugal. Now, if you have a club with a lot of money, just increase them to World and World right away. Like it costs you, this one cost me 100,000 euros more in an entire year, and this one like 500,000, but it's not that bad because you get a selection of players from all around the world. I will go more into scouting and the transfer side of things in a later episode because it's an entire beast of itself, especially now it's been revamped in Football Manager 2018. Now, the last thing you absolutely want to do is just have a quick look through all these panels. Like, just read the things that are here, like the new dynamic screen, just to get a nice idea of how your site's shaped up. Read the team report. This is the best team report I've ever seen, actually. Most of the times there are a lot of weaknesses, and you can just like read them and maybe anticipate on them if you agree with them, of course. Medical center is something to read through a bit later in the season, so you might want to do that after you played like five friendlies or something like that. Just look through your club. Your facilities are pretty important here. Just have a read through them, and you'll have a pretty good idea of how your site shapes up. You'll have the staff to do it. You'll have the tactic. You'll know what players are redundant, and I will explain to you how to sign and sell players in a later episode. But for now, I've hoped that this episode will be enough to get you started, and I wish you the best of luck with your FM18. I can really talk. It's been a bad day for recording today. But yeah, I will hope that you get off to a good start with your side, and I will see you in episode 3. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time.